Welcome to another incredible construction journey. Today, we're following an ambitious project that transforms a simple piece of land into a beautiful outdoor kitchen, complete with handcrafted cement work, twin traditional cooking stoves, and a warm wooden shelter, all built almost entirely by hand. What makes this project remarkable isn't just the final result. It's the patience, craftsmanship, and attention to detail behind every single step. Every brick, every bucket of concrete, every piece of timber contributes to something that will last for years. Instead of rushing toward the finished product, we're going to experience the complete process, understanding why every stage matters and how skilled planning creates exceptional results. Let's begin. The project starts with an already constructed brick framework that will become the heart of the outdoor cooking station. Although the walls are already standing, there's still a tremendous amount of work ahead before this structure can function as a practical kitchen. At this stage, the builders focus on creating the internal thermal chamber. Rather than leaving the space hollow, they're carefully filling the inside with compacted clay. This may appear simple, but it serves several important purposes. Clay acts as an excellent heat-retaining material. Once the stove is operating, the stored heat helps maintain stable cooking temperatures while reducing fuel consumption. It also strengthens the overall structure and provides a solid base for the cooking surface that will be installed later. Notice how the clay isn't simply dumped into place. It's added gradually, compressed by hand, and leveled carefully. Removing air pockets is essential because trapped air can eventually lead to uneven settling or cracks. Construction is often about patience. Taking extra time now prevents expensive repairs in the future. With the internal filling complete, attention shifts to preparing the upper surface. The top edges of the brickwork are checked for level. Even a difference of a few millimeters can affect the countertop installation later. Professional builders constantly measure, adjust, and recheck their work. Perfect alignment isn't about appearance alone. It also ensures proper load distribution across the structure. Next comes one of the most satisfying stages of any masonry project. Fresh concrete is mixed and poured onto the working surface. Concrete may look simple, but every batch depends on the correct balance between cement, sand, gravel, and water. Too much water weakens the finished surface. Too little makes the mixture difficult to spread and compact. Experienced builders learn to judge consistency by feel rather than measurements alone. Using long finishing tools, the concrete is spread slowly across the entire countertop. Notice the smooth, sweeping movements. The goal isn't simply to cover the bricks. It's to eliminate trapped air while creating one continuous surface. Every pass removes small imperfections. Every adjustment improves the final finish. This stage requires concentration because once concrete begins curing, corrections become increasingly difficult. As the surface starts taking shape, the edges receive special attention. Sharp corners are slightly rounded. This small detail dramatically improves durability. Rounded edges resist chipping much better than perfectly square corners. Professional construction often depends on these tiny decisions that most people never notice. The countertop now begins to resemble the finished kitchen workspace. But appearances can be deceiving. Fresh concrete remains extremely fragile. Walking on it too early or applying pressure before curing can permanently damage the surface. Concrete doesn't simply dry. It undergoes a chemical reaction called hydration. This process continues for days, gradually increasing strength as the cement particles bond together. Understanding curing is one of the most important lessons in concrete construction. Now the builders begin smoothing the entire slab using finishing trowels. Watch how each stroke overlaps the previous one. This technique removes ridges and creates a uniform texture across the entire countertop. Surface finishing isn't just cosmetic. A properly finished countertop is easier to clean, more resistant to stains, and less likely to collect moisture. The large cooking openings are already visible. These circular spaces will eventually hold heavy cooking pans and traditional woks. Proper positioning is essential. The openings must be centered accurately so the cookware remains stable during cooking. Any misalignment would become obvious once the stoves are in use. With the concrete beginning to harden, the builders move into the refining stage. Minor imperfections are filled. Small ridges are shaved away. The surface becomes progressively smoother. Construction often follows this rhythm. Build, check, correct, repeat. Every improvement builds upon the previous one. Once curing has progressed enough, polishing begins. An angle grinder equipped with a polishing pad carefully removes surface imperfections. This process exposes a cleaner, denser layer of concrete. The objective isn't to remove material, it's to create a perfectly even finish while maintaining the slab's strength. Polishing also prepares the surface for future sealing, making it more resistant to water, oils, and daily wear. As the grinder moves across the countertop, tiny high spots disappear. Edges become crisp. The finish starts reflecting light evenly. These subtle changes transform ordinary concrete into something that looks professionally manufactured. It's remarkable how much difference careful finishing can make. The cooking openings are also refined. Their edges are smoothed to prevent future cracking. Heat causes expansion and contraction. Rounded transitions reduce stress concentration around these openings, increasing the life of the entire structure. This is engineering hidden inside craftsmanship. With the countertop nearly complete, the builders pause before moving into the next major phase. The cooking station now has a strong foundation capable of supporting years of outdoor use. But this is only one piece of a much larger vision. Soon the project will expand beyond the cooking area. A beautiful timber structure will rise beside it, creating shelter, storage, and a welcoming outdoor living space. The transformation is only beginning. In the next chapter, we'll watch the project grow from a simple work area into a handcrafted wooden retreat where traditional construction techniques meet practical outdoor living. With the outdoor cooking platform now complete, the builders shift their attention to the second half of the project. A functional outdoor kitchen isn't just about the stove. It also needs shelter from rain, protection from the sun, and enough workspace to prepare food comfortably. That is exactly what this wooden cabin will provide. The next several days will completely transform this empty space into a cozy outdoor living area. Every successful construction project begins with accurate measurements. Before lifting a single piece of timber, each dimension is checked carefully. Corners are measured diagonally to ensure the layout remains perfectly square. This simple procedure is one of the most important steps in carpentry. If the foundation isn't square, every wall, roof beam, and finishing board installed afterward will also be out of alignment. Professional builders understand that precision at the beginning saves countless hours of correction later. Large wooden posts are now brought into position. These heavy structural members will become the main support columns of the cabin. Unlike decorative wood, these posts carry the weight of the entire roof. They must withstand years of heavy rainfall, strong winds, changing temperatures, and constant structural load. Every post is positioned carefully before being permanently secured. Notice how each support is checked with a spirit level. Even the slightest lean can become a serious problem as additional weight is added. Gravity is unforgiving. A structure only remains stable when every load transfers vertically into the foundation. This is why experienced builders never rely solely on visual judgment. Every measurement is verified with professional tools. Once the first post is secure, additional support columns begin taking their places. Slowly, the outline of the cabin starts appearing. Although only a few vertical pieces are standing, it's already possible to imagine the final building. Construction often begins this way. Small individual components gradually evolve into recognizable architecture. Horizontal beams are now installed across the tops of the support posts. These beams connect every column into one unified frame. Instead of each post standing independently, the structure now works together as a single system. When wind pushes against one side of the cabin, the load spreads across the entire frame rather than concentrating on one post. This principle of load sharing is fundamental to timber construction. Each connection receives multiple fasteners. Strength doesn't come from one large nail or screw. Instead, it's achieved through many carefully positioned connections working together. Proper fastening also prevents twisting, as the wood naturally expands and contracts with changing humidity. Wood is a living material long after the tree has been cut. It continues responding to seasonal changes throughout its lifetime. Good builders understand and respect that movement. The skeleton of the building continues growing. Additional cross members strengthen the frame. These braces may appear insignificant, but they dramatically improve stability. Without diagonal bracing, rectangular frames can easily deform into parallelograms under lateral pressure. Adding these supports locks the structure firmly into shape. Sometimes the strongest parts of a building are the ones people never notice. With the main framework complete, attention turns toward the roof. Roof construction begins with the installation of primary rafters. Each rafter is carefully cut to match the required angle. These cuts determine how well every piece fits together. Accurate joinery ensures that the roof distributes weight evenly across all supporting walls. Even small cutting errors can multiply as construction progresses. That is why experienced carpenters measure twice before making every cut. One by one, the rafters rise into place. The roof slowly takes shape. Viewed from a distance, it resembles the ribs of a giant wooden skeleton stretching across the sky. Although unfinished, the overall design is already becoming visible. The building now has height, proportion, and character. Working safely at this stage requires careful coordination. Heavy timbers are lifted steadily, while assistants stabilize each component below. Construction is rarely a one-person task. Successful projects rely on teamwork, communication, and shared experience. Every worker understands their responsibility before each beam is raised. This coordination improves both efficiency and safety. Once the rafters are aligned, smaller roof battens begin connecting them together. These horizontal members create the framework that will eventually support the roofing material. Spacing between battens is carefully maintained. Consistent spacing ensures equal load distribution while providing secure attachment points across the entire roof. Even details hidden beneath the finished roof receive the same attention as visible surfaces. Quality construction is built from the inside out. As more components are installed, the cabin begins feeling like a real building rather than a construction site. The open framework creates a sense of space. Natural light flows freely through every opening. Fresh air circulates easily beneath the future roof. This open design is especially practical for outdoor kitchens where ventilation is essential during cooking. Smoke and heat need somewhere to escape naturally. The builders pause regularly to inspect their progress. Construction isn't simply about adding more materials. Every stage includes careful evaluation. Are the beams level? Are the joints tight? Has anything shifted during installation? These inspections prevent minor mistakes from becoming major structural problems. Patience remains one of the most valuable construction tools. Now, additional framing begins around the wall sections. These members will eventually support decorative wood panels, shelves, windows, and storage areas. Although they appear lightweight compared to the main posts, they play an important role in stiffening the overall building. Every new component contributes both strength and functionality. The natural beauty of timber is already becoming obvious. Unlike steel or concrete, wood creates warmth and character even before finishing begins. Each grain pattern is unique. Each board tells the story of the tree it once belonged to. When craftsmanship meets natural materials, the result feels alive in a way few modern materials can match. As daylight changes, the structure casts longer shadows across the construction site. What started as an empty area beside a brick stove is now evolving into a welcoming outdoor retreat. Every hour of careful labor brings the builders closer to their vision. But much work still remains. The roof covering has yet to be installed. Wall panels are still missing. Doors, windows, lighting, furniture, and finishing details will all come later. However, the most important milestone has already been achieved. The structural frame now stands proudly on its own. This marks the moment when the project truly becomes a building. With the structural frame now standing firmly in place, the project enters one of its most exciting phases. Until now, the building has looked more like a skeleton than a cabin. But over the next several hours, that skeleton will gain its skin. The roof, walls, and exterior finishes will transform a simple timber frame into a fully functional outdoor retreat. Every new board installed brings the vision one step closer to reality. Builders begin by preparing the roof for its protective covering. Although the rafters provide structural support, they cannot shield the interior from rain or sunlight. Additional wooden battens are installed across the roof frame. Each batten is carefully aligned and secured at consistent intervals. Uniform spacing is essential because every roofing panel must be supported evenly across its entire length. Uneven spacing could lead to sagging, water collection, or premature wear over time. Working high above the ground requires confidence and precision. Each worker moves carefully along the roof structure while maintaining 3 points of contact whenever possible. Construction at height always carries additional risks. Professional builders combine experience with careful planning to minimize those risks while maintaining steady progress. Every movement is deliberate. Every tool has its place. Every step reflects years of practical knowledge. Now the roofing material begins arriving on the structure. One panel at a time, it is lifted into position. Instead of rushing, the builders carefully align the first sheet. This first panel is the most important because every panel installed afterward follows its position. If the first sheet is even slightly crooked, the entire roof will gradually drift out of alignment. This is another reminder that quality construction begins with careful preparation rather than speed. Fasteners are installed at precise locations along the supporting battens. Each screw secures the roofing material without restricting its natural expansion during changes in temperature. Roofing materials constantly expand under the heat of the sun and contract again as temperatures cool during the evening. Allowing for this movement prevents unnecessary stress and extends the life of the roof. These are details most homeowners never see, yet they determine how well the building performs over many years. As additional roofing sheets are installed, the appearance of the cabin changes dramatically. The open framework is gradually enclosed beneath a strong protective covering. For the first time, The interior begins feeling like an actual room rather than an outdoor workspace. Even without walls, the roof immediately creates shade and defines the space beneath it. The transformation is remarkable. With the roof complete, attention shifts toward the walls. Vertical timber boards are measured and trimmed to fit perfectly between the structural posts. Every piece receives careful inspection before installation. Natural timber often contains slight variations in grain and texture. Rather than hiding these differences, skilled craftsmen arrange the boards to create a balanced and attractive appearance. Nature itself becomes part of the design. One by one, the wall panels begin covering the frame. The open skeleton slowly disappears behind warm wooden surfaces. The cabin instantly feels more inviting. Wood possesses a unique ability to create comfort. Its natural texture softens the appearance of the building while blending beautifully into the surrounding landscape. Unlike cold industrial materials, timber ages gracefully, developing even more character over time. Each board is secured carefully using evenly spaced fasteners. Consistency is important not only for structural strength, but also for visual harmony. Professional craftsmanship is often recognized through symmetry, straight lines, even spacing, clean joints. These subtle details separate ordinary construction from exceptional work. As more wall sections are completed, the building begins retaining its own atmosphere. Sunlight filters gently through the remaining openings. The changing shadows highlight the beautiful grain patterns within the timber. Already, it's easy to imagine spending quiet evenings inside this handcrafted shelter while preparing meals beside the outdoor stove. The builders aren't simply constructing a building, they're creating an experience. Next, attention turns toward reinforcing the corners and exposed edges. Trim boards are carefully fitted to protect vulnerable joints from weather exposure. These finishing pieces serve two important purposes. They improve appearance while also preventing moisture from entering between structural components. Water is one of the greatest enemies of any wooden structure. Keeping moisture away from joints dramatically increases the building's lifespan. Construction now moves inside the cabin. Additional framing is installed to support future shelving, storage compartments, and working surfaces. Although these features may appear simple, they greatly improve functionality. A well-designed outdoor kitchen isn't just beautiful. It allows every tool, every ingredient, and every cooking accessory to remain organized and easily accessible. Good design always combines aesthetics with practicality. The builders pause once again to inspect their progress. Every joint is checked, every screw tightened, every surface examined for alignment. Construction is a continuous cycle of building and inspection. Experienced craftsmen know that even the finest materials cannot compensate for poor workmanship. Quality depends entirely on careful attention throughout every stage of the project. As the afternoon sunlight grows warmer, the completed roof casts broad shadows across the worksite. The outdoor kitchen now has shelter. The wooden cabin stands proudly beside the traditional cooking area. The relationship between the two structures is beginning to emerge. One provides warmth through fire, the other provides comfort through shelter. Together, they will create an inviting place where family and friends can gather for years to come. Although the building already looks impressive, there is still much work ahead. Doors remain unfinished. Windows have yet to be installed. The interior still lacks furniture, countertops, lighting, and decorative details. Outside, the traditional brick stoves are waiting for their final transformation. The project is steadily approaching its most satisfying stages. The vision that once existed only in the builder's imagination is now standing before us in solid timber and stone. The strongest buildings are not defined by their walls or their roofs. They are defined by how well they serve the people who use them. With the exterior of the cabin now standing complete, construction moves inside, where careful craftsmanship will transform an empty shell into a practical and inviting workspace. This stage is all about precision. Every shelf, every work surface, and every storage compartment must be designed for efficiency, durability, and comfort. The beauty of this project lies not only in how it looks, but in how naturally it will function once complete. The builders begin by measuring the interior space one final time. Although the structural frame has already been completed, interior installations demand even greater accuracy. A difference of only a few millimeters can affect the fit of shelves, countertops, and cabinetry. Measurements are checked repeatedly before any timber is cut. This careful planning minimizes waste while ensuring every component fits perfectly the first time. Fresh timber boards are selected for the interior framework. Each board is inspected carefully. Natural wood contains unique grain patterns, slight color variations, and occasional knots. Rather than hiding these characteristics, skilled craftsmen use them to enhance the natural beauty of the cabin. Every piece of timber tells its own story. Together, they create a warm and welcoming atmosphere impossible to replicate with synthetic materials. The first support brackets are secured to the wall frame. These hidden components will carry the weight of shelves and work surfaces for years to come. Although they may never be visible after construction is complete, they are among the most important parts of the entire interior. Great craftsmanship is often invisible. The strongest joints are hidden behind finished surfaces, quietly performing their job without ever drawing attention. One by one, the shelves begin taking shape. Each board is carefully aligned before being fastened into place. Notice how every shelf remains perfectly level. Even a slight tilt would become obvious once tools, cookware, or supplies are placed on the surface. Professional builders understand that precision creates both beauty and functionality. A well-built shelf should look effortless while carrying significant weight without movement. Storage is one of the defining features of any successful outdoor kitchen. Cooking outdoors requires easy access to firewood, utensils, cookware, spices, and cleaning supplies. Instead of cluttering the workspace, these shelves provide organized storage that keeps every essential item within comfortable reach. Good design reduces unnecessary movement. Everything has its place. Everything is exactly where it's needed. Attention now shifts toward constructing the main workbench. This countertop will become the primary preparation area where ingredients are cleaned, cut, and organized before cooking. The surface must remain perfectly flat, resistant to moisture, and strong enough to withstand years of daily use. Each supporting beam beneath the countertop is reinforced carefully to eliminate flexing under heavy loads. As the countertop boards are installed, their edges are aligned with remarkable precision. Small gaps are eliminated. Corners are carefully matched. Every connection reflects patience rather than haste. Construction is rarely about working quickly. It is about making every decision correctly the first time. The extra minutes invested now will be appreciated every day the kitchen is used. With the main workspace complete, the builders begin refining the details. Edges are sanded smooth. Sharp corners are softened. Rough surfaces are gradually transformed into polished finishes that feel comfortable to the touch. Sanding may appear repetitive, but it is one of the most important finishing steps. A carefully sanded surface not only looks better, it also protects users from splinters while allowing protective finishes to bond more effectively with the wood. The natural grain of the timber becomes increasingly beautiful as each board is prepared. Light reflects differently across every surface. The cabin begins feeling less like a construction site and more like a handcrafted retreat. This is the moment where craftsmanship truly becomes visible, not through expensive materials, but through careful attention to detail. The builders now install additional framing for future accessories, hooks for cooking tools, support beams for lighting, small compartments designed for everyday convenience. These thoughtful additions may seem minor individually, but together they create a workspace that feels organized and effortless to use. Excellent design often comes from anticipating needs before they arise. The interior continues evolving as decorative trim is installed around exposed joints. These finishing boards conceal structural connections while protecting vulnerable edges from damage. Trim work demands exceptional precision. Unlike structural framing, even the smallest gap remains visible after completion. Every cut must fit perfectly. Every corner must align seamlessly. This is where experienced craftsmanship truly reveals itself. As afternoon sunlight enters through the open walls, the warm color of the timber fills the cabin with a welcoming atmosphere. The combination of natural wood, handcrafted construction, and open-air design creates a space that feels connected to nature rather than separated from it. Unlike enclosed kitchens, this outdoor workspace allows fresh air, natural light, and surrounding scenery to become part of the cooking experience. It is a reminder that good architecture does more than provide shelter. It shapes how people feel within a space. Construction pauses briefly while the builders inspect every completed section. Shelves are tested for strength. Connections are tightened. Surfaces are checked for level. Small imperfections are corrected immediately. Quality is never left to chance. Every finished component is evaluated before moving to the next stage. This commitment to excellence defines professional craftsmanship. Looking around the cabin now, it is difficult to imagine how empty this space appeared only a short time ago. Where there was once only a wooden frame, there is now a functional workspace ready to support countless hours of cooking, gathering, talk, and conversation. The transformation is both practical and inspiring. But the heart of this outdoor kitchen still remains unfinished. The traditional twin cooking stoves are waiting for their final construction. Those stoves will soon become the centerpiece of the entire project. In the next chapter, attention returns to the masonry work as the builders carefully construct and refine the twin outdoor stoves. We'll discover how traditional brickwork, intelligent airflow design, and handcrafted craftsmanship combine to create efficient cooking stations capable of producing high heat while using surprisingly little fuel. As the wooden cabin nears completion, the focus returns to what will become the true centerpiece of this entire project, the twin outdoor stoves. For generations, traditional wood-fired stoves have been at the heart of outdoor cooking. Long before modern gas burners and electric cooktops, these carefully engineered brick stoves provided reliable heat using nothing more than firewood, intelligent airflow, and skilled craftsmanship. Although simple in appearance, every brick and every opening has been designed with a purpose. Today, we'll see how these traditional techniques continue to prove their value. The builders begin by carefully inspecting the masonry completed earlier. Before adding any finishing materials, the brick structure must be perfectly stable. Each joint is checked. Any loose mortar is repaired. The surface is cleaned thoroughly to ensure the next layer bonds properly. Good finishing work always depends on a strong foundation beneath it. Skipping preparation would compromise the durability of everything that follows. Fresh mortar is mixed once again. At first glance, it looks like ordinary cement, but its consistency is carefully controlled. Too much water would weaken the mixture. Too little would prevent proper bonding. Experienced masons don't rely only on measurements. They judge the mixture by its texture, how it moves across the trowel, and how easily it fills the joints. This knowledge comes only through years of practical experience. The mortar is applied smoothly across the brick surface. Long, steady strokes eliminate gaps while creating a uniform protective layer. Besides improving appearance, this coating seals the masonry against moisture and weather. Outdoor structures constantly expand and contract with changes in temperature. A well-finished surface helps protect the bricks beneath from premature deterioration. Attention now shifts to the firebox, the chamber where the wood will burn. This is the engine of the stove. Its dimensions determine how efficiently fuel burns and how effectively heat reaches the cooking surface. Notice that the firebox isn't unnecessarily large. A compact chamber concentrates heat, allowing the fire to burn hotter while using less wood. This simple principle has been used in traditional cooking for centuries. The builders carefully shape the interior walls. Smooth internal surfaces improve airflow by reducing unnecessary turbulence inside the fire chamber. Efficient airflow means cleaner combustion, less smoke, and higher temperatures. In traditional stove construction, airflow is every bit as important as the fire itself. Without oxygen, even the best designed stove cannot perform efficiently. Now the openings for the firewood are refined. These access points serve two important functions. They allow fuel to be added while also supplying fresh air to maintain combustion. Their size has been carefully chosen. Openings that are too small restrict oxygen. Openings that are too large allow excessive heat to escape. Finding the perfect balance is one of the defining skills of experienced stove builders. The twin design of this outdoor kitchen offers tremendous flexibility. Instead of relying on a single cooking surface, two independent fire chambers allow multiple dishes to be prepared simultaneously. One stove can maintain a gentle simmer while the other produces intense heat for frying or boiling. This arrangement is especially practical during family gatherings or celebrations where several meals must be prepared at once. Efficiency isn't only about fuel, it's also about time. The builders now install the heavy metal cooking rings. These rings are carefully positioned above each firebox. Their purpose extends beyond simply supporting cookware. They also concentrate heat directly beneath the cooking vessel, maximizing thermal efficiency. Many traditional stoves feature removable ring sections, allowing different pot sizes to fit securely while controlling how much flame reaches the base. This versatile design remains popular in many rural kitchens around the world. Each cooking opening is checked carefully for alignment. A stable cooking surface is essential for safety. Large pots filled with boiling water can weigh many kilograms. Even a slight wobble could become dangerous during cooking. The builders make small adjustments until every ring sits perfectly level. With the main components installed, attention turns toward the chimney passages hidden inside the masonry. Although invisible from the outside, these channels are among the most important features of the entire stove. As hot gases rise naturally, they create a draft that continuously pulls fresh oxygen into the firebox below. This natural circulation allows the fire to burn hotter without mechanical fans or electrical assistance. It is a brilliant example of engineering based entirely on the laws of physics. The exterior now receives another careful finishing coat. Every corner is refined, every edge is smoothed. Any remaining imperfections disappear beneath skilled hands. The once rough structure now appears clean, elegant, and professionally crafted. Good masonry is as much an art as it is a science. The final appearance reflects countless hours of patience and precision. As the cement begins curing, the builders protect vulnerable areas from accidental damage. Fresh mortar requires time to gain strength. Rushing this process could introduce cracks that weaken the finished stove. Construction often teaches an important lesson. Some stages cannot be accelerated. Nature follows its own timetable. The wisest craftsmen work with that rhythm instead of against it. The completed stoves now stand proudly beside the wooden cabin. Their clean lines, smooth surfaces, and balanced proportions complement the surrounding timber beautifully. Stone and wood have been combined for thousands of years because each material contributes something unique. Wood offers warmth and natural beauty. Masonry provides strength, stability, and resistance to fire. Together, they create a space that is both practical and timeless. But construction is about more than assembling materials. Every finished project tells a story of planning, a story of persistence, a story of countless small decisions that eventually become something much greater than the sum of their parts. Looking at these completed stoves, it's easy to appreciate the craftsmanship. Yet what truly makes them remarkable is the knowledge hidden inside every brick. Generations of experience have shaped this design into one of the most efficient traditional cooking systems still used today. The builders step back for a moment to admire their progress. The kitchen is nearly complete. The cabin stands ready. The stoves are finished. Only the final details remain: wood treatment, lighting, decoration, organization, and the exciting first test fire that will finally bring this handcrafted outdoor kitchen to life. After weeks of careful planning, hard work, and craftsmanship, the project has reached one of its most rewarding stages. The heavy construction is complete. The concrete has cured. The brickwork stands solid. The timber frame is secure. Now, the focus shifts from building to refining. These finishing touches may seem small compared to the structural work we've already seen, but they are what transform a construction project into a place that feels warm, welcoming, and ready to be enjoyed. This is where functionality meets beauty. The builders begin by carefully inspecting every wooden surface. Although the timber already looks impressive, untreated wood is constantly exposed to the elements. Rain, sunlight, humidity, and temperature changes gradually affect even the strongest materials. To protect the cabin, a high-quality wood preservative is applied evenly across every exposed surface. This protective coating does much more than enhance appearance. It penetrates deep into the fibers, reducing moisture absorption, preventing fungal growth, and protecting against insects that could weaken the structure over time. As the finish is brushed onto the wood, something remarkable happens. The natural grain becomes richer. Warm golden tones begin to emerge. Patterns that were barely visible before now stand out beautifully. Every board develops its own unique personality. Rather than covering the wood, the finish celebrates its natural beauty. It's a reminder that the best craftsmanship often enhances nature instead of hiding it. The builders work methodically, ensuring no corner is overlooked. Edges, joints, and end grains receive special attention because these areas absorb moisture more easily than flat surfaces. Protecting these vulnerable points significantly extends the life of the structure. It's another example of how long-lasting construction depends on attention to details that many people never notice. With the protective finish complete, attention turns toward the interior. The workbench is cleaned, shelves are wiped down. Every surface is inspected one final time. Construction dust disappears, revealing the true character of the handcrafted space. The cabin suddenly feels different. No longer a work site, it now feels like a destination. Lighting fixtures are carefully installed throughout the cabin. While natural daylight makes the space beautiful during the afternoon, thoughtful lighting allows the kitchen to remain functional long after sunset. Warm lighting is chosen intentionally. Unlike harsh white illumination, warmer tones complement the natural wood while creating a comfortable atmosphere for evening gatherings. Good lighting doesn't simply help people see. It influences how a space feels. Electrical components are installed with careful attention to safety. Cables are routed neatly. Connections are secured. Fixtures are tested before final installation. Although much of this work remains hidden behind walls or beneath the roof, proper electrical planning ensures reliability for years to come. As with every previous stage of the project, quality comes before speed. Now, the builders begin organizing the workspace. Cooking utensils are placed within easy reach. Storage shelves receive their first equipment. Preparation surfaces remain clean and uncluttered. Everything has a logical place. A well-organized kitchen allows the cook to focus entirely on preparing meals rather than searching for tools. Good design simplifies everyday life. Outside, attention returns briefly to the twin stoves. The cooking rings receive a final cleaning. The fireboxes are checked one last time. Any remaining construction debris is removed carefully. The airflow passages are inspected to ensure nothing obstructs the natural draft. Everything is now ready for the moment everyone has been waiting for. The first fire. Small pieces of dry kindling are placed inside the firebox. Larger firewood is stacked carefully above them. Notice that the wood isn't packed tightly. Small gaps allow fresh air to circulate freely around the fuel. Without adequate airflow, even dry firewood struggles to burn efficiently. Proper fire building begins long before the first match is struck. The flame is introduced slowly. Within moments, the kindling begins to crackle. Thin wisps of smoke rise gently through the internal passages before exiting through the chimney system. As the fire grows stronger, the stove begins demonstrating exactly why its design has remained effective for generations. Fresh air is drawn naturally into the firebox. The draft strengthens. Combustion becomes cleaner. The flames burn brighter with very little smoke escaping into the cooking area. Everything functions exactly as intended. As the fire reaches operating temperature, the heavy cooking rings begin absorbing heat. The thick masonry surrounding the firebox also stores thermal energy. Unlike thin metal stoves that cool rapidly once the fire fades, this massive brick structure continues releasing stored heat long after active flames begin slowing down. This remarkable thermal efficiency is one of the greatest advantages of traditional masonry cooking systems. They use fuel wisely while providing stable cooking temperatures over extended periods. The builders place cookware onto the stove for the very first time. Water begins heating steadily. The fire responds instantly as additional wood is added. Everything works smoothly. The airflow remains consistent. Heat rises evenly beneath the cooking surface. Months of planning and countless hours of labor have resulted in a stove that performs exactly as designed. There is a special satisfaction in watching handcrafted work function perfectly during its very first use. The surrounding cabin now comes alive. Warm light reflects from the wooden walls. The gentle sound of burning firewood fills the space. Fresh air flows naturally through the open design. The combination of timber, stone, fire, and craftsmanship creates an atmosphere that feels both peaceful and timeless. This isn't simply an outdoor kitchen. It's a place designed for family meals, quiet mornings, celebrations with friends, and memories that will continue for many years. As evening approaches, the entire project takes on a completely different appearance. The soft lighting highlights the rich texture of the timber. The glowing fire adds warmth to the brick stoves. The carefully balanced design of wood and masonry feels perfectly at home within its natural surroundings. It's difficult to imagine that only weeks earlier, this was an empty construction site. Now it has become a handcrafted destination built almost entirely through patience, skill, and determination. Construction may be finished, but the true purpose of this space is only beginning. Every future meal prepared here will remind us that exceptional craftsmanship is never measured only by appearance. It is measured by how well it serves people every single day. As the final rays of sunlight spread across the landscape, it's hard to believe how much has changed. What was once nothing more than an ordinary piece of ground has become a beautifully crafted outdoor kitchen. A place built not by heavy machinery or large construction crews, but through patience, determination, and skilled hands. Every step of this journey reminds us that extraordinary results are created one small task at a time. Let's take one final walk through this remarkable project. The moment you approach the cabin, the first thing you notice is its balance. Natural timber blends seamlessly with handcrafted masonry. Neither material overpowers the other. Instead, they work together in perfect harmony. The warmth of wood complements the strength of stone. Traditional craftsmanship meets practical engineering. Together, they create a space that feels timeless. Stepping inside the cabin, every detail tells a story. The carefully fitted wall panels, the smooth wooden shelves, the sturdy preparation counters, the organized storage spaces. Nothing feels unnecessary. Everything has been designed with purpose. This is what separates thoughtful craftsmanship from simple construction. Every element exists because it improves how the space functions. Notice how natural light enters through the open sides of the structure. During the day, sunlight fills the workspace without the need for artificial lighting. Fresh air circulates continuously, making the kitchen comfortable even while the stoves are burning. The design works with nature rather than against it. This simple approach creates an environment that is both efficient and enjoyable. Outside, the twin masonry stoves proudly occupy the center of attention. Their smooth concrete surfaces reflect countless hours of careful finishing. Beneath that polished appearance lies a sophisticated system of airflow, heat storage, and structural reinforcement. Most people see only bricks and cement, but experienced builders recognize generations of knowledge hidden within every line and every curve. The twin stove design offers incredible versatility. One firebox can be used for slow cooking, gently simmering soups or stews for hours. The second can generate intense heat for stir-frying, boiling, or grilling. Two independent heat sources provide flexibility while reducing waiting time during large family meals. This practical design has served communities around the world for centuries because it simply works. As we look more closely, it's impossible not to appreciate the quality of the craftsmanship. The edges are clean, the joints are uniform, the surfaces are level. Nothing has been left unfinished. True craftsmanship is revealed not by the parts people notice, but by the parts they never think to examine. The hidden details often require the greatest skill. Think back to where this journey began. The first measurements, the careful foundation work, mixing concrete by hand, laying every brick, installing every timber beam, shaping each board, sanding every surface, applying every finishing coat. No shortcut could have replaced those hours of dedicated work. Every completed stage depended entirely on the quality of the one before it. Construction teaches patience in a way few other activities can. Concrete cannot be rushed. Wood cannot be forced to stay perfectly straight without proper support. Mortar must cure. Finishes must dry. Every material follows its own natural rhythm. The most experienced builders understand this. Rather than fighting nature, they work alongside it. That partnership produces buildings capable of lasting for decades. This project also demonstrates something equally important. You don't always need expensive equipment to build something extraordinary. Knowledge, planning, precision, consistency. These qualities matter far more than complicated machinery. Simple tools used with skill often outperform advanced equipment used carelessly. The greatest investment in any construction project is experience. Perhaps the most rewarding part of this journey is knowing that every corner of this kitchen carries a personal connection. Every wall reflects effort. Every beam represents determination. Every brick tells the story of someone willing to invest their time into creating something meaningful. That emotional connection cannot be purchased. It can only be built. As evening settles in, the atmosphere changes once again. Warm light glows softly inside the cabin. The wooden walls reflect a comforting golden color. The masonry stoves continue releasing the heat stored throughout the cooking process. Gentle sounds of crackling firewood replace the noise of construction. The project has completed its transformation. The worksite has become a home away from home. Imagine gathering here with family after a long day. Fresh food cooking over a traditional wood fire, children playing nearby, friends sharing stories around the warmth of the stove. These moments are the true purpose of every construction project. Buildings themselves are only structures. It is the memories created inside them that give them lasting value. Every successful builder eventually discovers the same truth. Construction is not simply about assembling materials. It is about creating spaces where life happens, places where people gather, where conversations begin, where traditions continue, where future generations create memories of their own. This outdoor kitchen has become exactly that kind of place. Although this project is now complete, its story is only beginning. The wood will continue aging beautifully. The stone will grow stronger with time. Every meal prepared here will leave another memory. Every season will add another chapter to its history. The builders may have finished their work, but the kitchen itself has only just begun its purpose. Every great project has two endings. The first is the moment the final tool is put away. The second is the moment the space begins fulfilling the purpose it was built for. Today, we've reached both. After weeks of careful planning, countless hours of labor, and unwavering dedication, this remarkable outdoor kitchen is finally complete. But more importantly, it is ready to begin a lifetime of use. As we take one last look around, it's impossible not to admire the incredible transformation. What began as an ordinary construction site has become something far more meaningful. A handcrafted wooden cabin, a beautifully engineered twin stove cooking station, strong concrete countertops, thoughtfully designed storage. Every feature works together as one complete outdoor living space. Nothing feels out of place. Nothing has been added without purpose. Construction is often viewed only through its finished result. People admire the completed building, but rarely consider the hundreds of individual decisions hidden beneath its surface. Every measurement, every cut, every bucket of concrete, every brick carefully aligned, every timber beam lifted into place. Each small task may seem insignificant on its own, yet together they create something extraordinary. That is the true nature of craftsmanship. Great achievements are built from thousands of ordinary moments performed with extraordinary care. Throughout this journey, we've witnessed more than construction. We've witnessed discipline. There were no shortcuts, no rushed stages, no compromises. Every layer was completed only after the previous one met the highest standard. That level of patience requires experience, but it also reflects respect. Respect for the materials, respect for the craft, and respect for the people who will enjoy this space for many years to come. The concrete countertops now stand smooth and solid. They will support countless meals, family gatherings, and celebrations. Their strength isn't visible from the surface alone. It comes from proper mixing, careful reinforcement, accurate leveling, and patient curing. Every hidden step contributes to the durability we see today. Strong foundations are often invisible, but they support everything above them. The timber cabin tells a similar story. Every beam, every wall panel, and every shelf reflects hours of careful planning and precise execution. Wood is a remarkable material. It changes with the seasons. It expands in the summer. It contracts during cooler months. Designing with timber means understanding nature rather than resisting it. The builders have done exactly that, creating a structure that will remain both beautiful and reliable for years ahead. At the center of everything stand the twin traditional stoves, simple in appearance, sophisticated in function, powered only by wood, airflow, and intelligent design. Long before modern technology, builders discovered how to control fire through carefully engineered chambers, efficient draft systems, and heat-retaining masonry. Those timeless principles remain just as effective today. Sometimes the oldest solutions are still among the best. But perhaps the most valuable lesson from this project has nothing to do with construction. It is a lesson about persistence. Large goals can often feel overwhelming. Looking at the finished kitchen, it's easy to wonder how anyone could build something so impressive. The answer is surprisingly simple. One task at a time. One brick, one board, one measurement, one day after another. Progress rarely arrives in giant leaps. It grows quietly through consistent effort. This philosophy extends far beyond construction. Whether learning a new skill, building a business, creating a home, or pursuing a lifelong dream, the process is remarkably similar. Success isn't created overnight. It is built gradually through countless small actions, repeated with patience and determination. This outdoor kitchen stands as a physical reminder